What's up, YouTube? It's the real Super Mario, and I'm bringing you my first wrestling video of the channel. Yep, we're gonna be talking about wrestling. Um, WWE Payback is coming up. This is kind of like it's not exactly a throwaway pay-per-view, but it's not one of the big major ones. But the card looks okay, even though it's only a few matches. It looks okay. Let's see. I'm gonna go by importance here. So that's the way I'm gonna be covering each one of the matches, minus the El Torino Hornswoggle match. Personally, I mean, it's got build, but I don't really care. It's a pre-show match, and it's a match between two little people. I mean, this is not Mexico. I mean, if this was Mexico, this would be awesome. This is America. I don't really care about a minis match. But just for the sake of it, I'm gonna go ahead and pick a winner and say that El Torito is gonna win that. Since Hornswoggle's a heel and he's with 3MB, nothing in 3MB ever goes over. So El Torito takes it. Alright, next we go for the I'm just gonna list the matches here by importance and by the order I'm actually gonna cover them. So we have Paige versus Alicia Fox. We have Barrett versus RVD. We have Sheamus versus Cesaro, and we have Cena versus Bray Wyatt. And then we have Evolution versus the Shield. Alright, there's also a segment, because this hasn't really been announced as a match or anything like that, but there's a segment, Daniel Bryan is supposed to come up with he's supposed to either give up the title or have Bree get fired, because she pushed Stephanie. Originally, I was thinking that this was going to evolve into something else, but I will cover that also in the video. So we're gonna go ahead. Oh, another thing too. Possible extra matches. Now we do have 5 matches on card, but WWE is famous for adding extra matches into the card. Just cause. Alright, and there's 2 extra matches I can see them adding at the moment, and that's a tag match between the Usos and Harper and Rowan. Non-title tag match. Well, if Harper and Rowan wins, they get a shot in the future. If they lose, then whatever. Even though these 4 will probably be involved in the last man standing match, but they might get a match just thrown in there as like an extra match or a surprise match or something to kill some time. Also, I'm thinking that there might be a Rusev Big E match, even though I think they should build this some more and possibly put it in Money in the Bank, since none of them will be any use in an actual Money in the Bank match. I don't believe in having people that big in those matches unless your name is Kane, because Kane can actually move other than these guys who can't. Rusev versus Big E could be in this match. I don't see any other extra matches. So on to the actual scheduled matches by importance. So first one being Paige versus Alicia Fox. Alright, so this match is they've built this match pretty good. This match has been they've evolved Alicia Fox's character. They've done pretty good by this match. Do I think she will win? Possibly. There's a possibility that she can win this. Even though I don't see why, because they obviously brought Paige out to give her the title because AJ was leaving. Well, she was, getting time off or whatever. So Why would you give her the title for like what, a month, and then have her lose it? You know, this, and not to mention, this would have been probably better as a, you know, match with Tamina. You know, this would have been more evolution for her character. You know, now that she is on her own, she's not working for AJ or protecting AJ. This would have been a very good spot for Tamina. But they have evolved Alicia Fox's character. Personally, I don't really like it. I don't care for the whole, oh, I'm crazy. Like, when they did AJ as a crazy character, it was kind of a slow build. You know, it was a bit slower, and you know, she eventually was crazy, and she was pushing Punk off the turnbuckle, and she was doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and it worked. But this just seems forced. You know, it just seems like they just did this just to develop her really quickly, so that when Paige does beat her, it does more for Paige. And personally, I mean, I like Alicia Fox. She's hot. She can wrestle. I don't like this character. I just don't. But now, just taking me out of the equation and just looking at this as, you know, if I was a booker with straight wrestling knowledge, I would say Alicia Fox was to win this, because just all the development they've done with her in the past 3 weeks, you know, it would be for nothing if they just snubbed her right here. And it would be pretty stupid, you know, of them to just blow all that, you know, all the development that they just, the last 3 weeks will be for nothing if they snubbed her in this match. So as a booker, I would call Alicia to win. But WWE has done this before. They have rapidly built people just to job them out to somebody else to make it look interesting. So officially, I'm calling Paige to win this. You know, and rumor has it that AJ will be back in the next, you know, 14 to 21 days. So I'm thinking that, yeah, Paige is gonna win this, and AJ is gonna get her rematch, probably at Money in the Bank. Yep. So I'm calling that one. Paige wins. You know, Alicia Fox could upset, but it's a very slim chance. Paige wins this, hands down. Next, we have Barrett versus RVD. This match I kind of want to see, because I don't think I've ever really been into Barrett's character as much as I am right now. I like Bad News Barrett. You know, he comes out and he's like, I've got some bad news. I like Bad News Barrett. To me, it's just cool. You know, if I was WWE, I would use him to refer like actual bad news. You know, like you know, that episode of Raw when they were in Chicago, and they had him scheduled to come out and do a promo where he comes out. It's like, I got some bad news. He isn't here. You know how much heat he would have gotten? Because he would have been referencing Punk. So, he would have gotten like mad amounts of heat. The crowd would have been pissed off, and it would have probably got pretty negative. So, you know, that's probably why they didn't do it. But I like Bad News Barrett, though. They should use him in ways like that. You know, like, you know, somebody gets injured. They should, like, you know, if Daniel turns over the titles, they should be like, I've got some bad news. Daniel Bryan isn't the champion, just to get like mad heat or something like that. But yeah, I see. They actually had some build for this, just a little bit of build for this, which is unusual for WWE. Usually they don't build anything, you know. But they actually built this, so I'm calling Bad News Barrett to win. Alright, because the only reason to give RVD the Intercontinental title is if you had another heel that you wanted to build to feud with RVD and take it from him. Really, that's the only use of RVD right now, is to build other people. So unless they had someone else in mind, like Rusev, like, you know, if Cesaro was in line for the IC title, then I would totally say, yeah, RVD's gonna win this, and he's gonna drop in Cesaro to make Cesaro look good. But he's not in the line for the IC title, so I'm thinking this is just to build Barrett for something else, and to build the IC title, which is always good since these titles never see the light of day. So, yeah, bad news, Barrett wins. Match should be pretty good, you know, because I kind of like both of these guys, so this match should be pretty good. The reason why this is under the US title match, I'm about to explain in just 2 seconds. So, next match is in order of importance, Sheamus versus Cesaro. Man, this match is gonna be good. Both of these guys are smash mouth, beat 'em up style wrestlers. Even though Cesaro has a little bit more pure wrestling skill from his days in Ring of Honor, but he has a smash mouth style too. I like Sheamus. I do kind of like Cesaro, but his character right now annoys me, and that stupid theme song just pisses me off. So I don't like him as much as I did when he was with the Real Americans. I'm always been a Sheamus fan. I mean, I think Sheamus really should be a main eventer right now. Sheamus should take the Punk spot, you know, and he should definitely be main eventing now since Bryan's gonna be gone for an unknown amount of time. There's no other faces. I mean, even though John Cena's about to finish up a feud, do we really want to see John Cena again? But, you know, oh well. But, you know, two things could happen here. Now, when I first saw this, you know, I was thinking, damn it, man, they're gonna job Sheamus out to Cesaro. That's the first thing I saw here, because I was thinking like, you know, why else would they give Sheamus the US title? Unless they just wanted to give him something to do. You know, and I thought that, you know, they were gonna give him, he was gonna have a nice little run with the US title, and then eventually drop it to somebody else when it's time for him to move up again. But, you know, this could go two ways. Either he could drop this to Cesaro now, and then he'll move up to take Daniel Bryan's place if they decide to extend the Cena Bray Wyatt feud another month, which I kind of doubt it, but it's possible. You know, so he could drop it here to move up. Or they could have simply just given Sheamus the title so he could drop it to Cesaro to build Cesaro, since all of a sudden now, you know, Vince is on Cesaro's nuts now. After months of hating the man, you know, like half of last year he hated Cesaro, and now all of a sudden he's on this man's nuts. So, alright. So, this match is hard to call, you know, because, I mean, if Sheamus wins right here, I mean, it won't hurt Cesaro, I mean, because he's still hot, you know, people are still on him, and this would also make Sheamus look better, because he defended the title. It didn't, like, I mean, because if you look at the past few weeks of this feud, Sheamus is getting the hell beat out of him week in and week out. So, you know, it's like, if he just drops it now, it just makes Sheamus look bad. So, he could defend it, or WWE could just go on and have him drop it, move on to something else. I'm gonna call officially, I don't know in this match. I can't call it. I can't call this one. I'm gonna skip this one. It could go either way. Next match, as of importance, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. Alright, this one here is another kind of hard one to call, because, you know, you have to kind of see what they want to do in the future. Me personally, after 3 months, I think this feud is almost burned out. You know, I would cut it here so that way people can say it was a good feud. It didn't last too long. It didn't burn itself out. You know, this I would kill it right here. But WWE could keep it going longer. But they're gonna need somebody in the title spot. And if they don't plan on putting Sheamus there, they're probably gonna put Cena there. So this feud is probably gonna end, you know, at this pay-per-view. Last man standing ends the feud. You know, who could use the win more? Both of them. Personally, Cena could win. He could use the win more. I mean, he just lost at Extreme Rules, which has been kind of a bad pay-per-view for Cena. I mean, he gets the hell beat out of him every year at Extreme Rules, and usually he loses. So, you know, that's a bad pay-per-view for Cena. You know, he just lost. You know, Bray used the kids to get into Cena's mind. Even though they do seem to be swaying away from the whole I'm unlocking the monster in Cena more to more I'm gonna try to steal the C Nation as a whole from Cena. You know, with the kids and the singing and all that kind of stuff. I think Cena's probably gonna win this. You know, because he'll probably, because one, Bray's character is not a character about wins and losses. Even though he could use this win and get, you know, propel him to the world title, you know, picture, but there's too many heels in that picture anyway. Like if you look at Raw, you know, Stephanie was talking about, oh well, you know, I could give the title to Kane, I could give it to Bad News Barrett, I could give it to Triple H, I could give it to Batista. You know, there's so many heels in the main event card that pushing Bray up there right now would be kind of overkill. Unless they plan on turning him face, which please don't do that. So, you know, Cena wins here. He goes and gets a shot at the title. And possibly gets involved finally in this whole, you know, authority mess. Next match, I'm gonna do the segment, the Daniel Bryan segment. Alright, so on Raw, Stephanie gave Bryan a choice. He could either turn over the titles at Payback, you know, and that would be it, or he can keep the titles and have Brie, his wife, get fired for physically accosting Stephanie. Okay, now I really thought this was going to turn into a match. At least the way I would have done it, is I would have done Stephanie, or a representative thereof of Stephanie, versus Brie for Daniel Bryan's titles. You know, so it's like, you know, if Stephanie or Stephanie's rep were to win, then, you know, Daniel Bryan would be stripped of the titles. If Brie were to win, then Bryan would, you know, be able to hold the titles for another 30 days, and this would count as his title defense. Because the rules are, you have to be able to defend the title at least once every 30 days to maintain your championship. So, you know, that's what I would have done. And I hope that might be what they do in the future, possibly at Money in the Bank, if Bryan isn't healthy. You know, but it looks like they're gonna do it in the segment here. Bryan will probably turn over the titles. I mean, he probably will for his wife. You know, or there could be shenanigans here. This is the area where shenanigans are possible, the most possible in this match, in this segment, and because you've got a lot of unknowns here. You got Kane. We haven't really seen Kane do much outside of destroy Brad Maddox on Monday, which means that he's still there. That's basically their way of saying that Kane's still around. He still works for Stephanie, so Kane could be involved here. There's also one big unknown, and that is one Phil Brooks, aka CM Punk. Now, this pay-per-view was in Chicago. CM Punk hasn't been there for, see, he left in January. It's been almost 6 months. So this is a nice long time. He's chilled. He's recovered his injuries. He should be mentally prepared. He's gotten engaged. He's done a lot of stuff. He's been happy. If he were to come back, it would probably be here, Money in the Bank or SummerSlam, sometime in the summer. Here, he could come back here. What is he gonna do? I mean, he could present himself as another contender for the title. They could have Kane versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank for the title. Or they could do the whole representative thing where they could have, Kane being a contender and Punk being Daniel Bryan's representative to defend the title. That could happen. Something's gonna happen here. That's gonna be like the big O moment of it. One of the big O moments of the pay-per-view is how this segment ends. And then the last match, we have Evolution versus The Shield. Another one that is similarly hard to call. Because, I mean, the booking for, Orton and Batista has been ridiculous. Like Orton lost so many singles matches as champion, and then he lost to Daniel Bryan, and his booking has just gone down. Same thing with Batista. If Batista did not come back after this run, I would not blame him, because the booking has been that bad. The fans turned on him. He didn't get his WrestleMania title win. I would say they would need to win this. I mean, because he also took the pin in that last match. I would say that Evolution needs to win this. Because Triple H lost at WrestleMania. He kind of lost last month at Extreme Rules. Orton's been losing since forever. And Batista, his booking has also sucked. So the Shield have been on fire. They don't need a win. Even though they're saying that, the losers are going to be gone or whatever. I mean, there have been rumors of a Shield breakup for months now. A lot of people said it was supposed to happen at TLC after they lost to the Wyatts, but it didn't. The booker in me is saying, let the Shield win. The Shield win, and then Evolution breaks up, because Batista is about to leave to promote Guardians of the Galaxy. If you don't know Guardians of the Galaxy, I did make a video about that. This is a shameless plug. But he is in that movie. He plays Drax the Destroyer. He's going to promote that movie. So, he could very well, he's probably going to leave in the next few weeks or so. So, dissolving Evolution, would be a viable way to send him out. And having the Shield remain strong, since they are a face, and people do like them. On the other hand, if they lost here, this could be the straw that finally breaks the camel's back. And Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins could blame Roman Reigns. Say he takes the pin, they could blame him for the loss, and they could turn on him, and the Shield could fall apart. But realistically, I see the Shield probably gonna win. So I'm calling Shield to win this. Will there be some kind of shenanigans? Probably not. This is probably gonna be a straight up match. Will it steal the night? Maybe. It might be the match of the night. Yeah. So that's my card for Payback. So I'm thinking Paige wins. I couldn't call Cesaro and Sheamus. Bad News Barrett wins, Cena wins, and the Shield wins. That is my predictions for WWE Payback. If you like this video, just hit like and subscribe. And if you have any opinions about the card, about the Payback card, post it in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.